Straight ahead on CCX News, an early morning rude awakening, multiple vehicle break-ins, and with one neighbor's quick thinking. Plus, wings, beer, sold. The Golden Valley-based company now with a new owner. And later, what it's like to walk in a teenager's shoes. An art project provides an interesting perspective. CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. Nerves were shaken in one Brooklyn Park neighborhood early Tuesday morning, this after a number of vehicle break-ins, one of which was seen as it was happening. As Eric Nelson reports, thanks to some quick thinking, a suspect is now in custody.
I was very startled. The guy he's a lot bigger than me, so at first I was like, whoa.
Around 4 a.m. Tuesday, Darrell Jacobs checked his in-house video system and was jolted by what he saw.
On my camera, I see a big 6-foot tall guy digging in my truck.
Jacobs, however, didn't panic and quickly called 911. Minutes later, Brooklyn Park police arrived and arrested a man who they say broke into multiple vehicles.
We rely on our community to be our eyes out there, and that was fantastic that this resident called 911 as soon as they seen an individual walking through the streets looking into cars. That's exactly what we're asking people to do, and in this case it worked out perfectly.
The thefts occurred near 83rd and West Broadway in the College Park neighborhood.
It just goes to show it can happen to anybody.
Jacobs' van was a mess.
It was ransacked through, so everything that was in the glove compartments, so everything was kind of dumped everywhere.
Brooklyn Park police believe this was an isolated incident.
He had a bulletproof vest on, so we're making sure that he didn't ditch a weapon or throw a weapon when he was running.
And not connected to other break-ins in the city.
Unfortunately, vehicles getting broke into has kind of been an ongoing problem that we're always battling, so we always encourage people to make sure that they take any valuable items out of their vehicle and make sure their vehicles are locked up.
Us as a community, we got to stick together to kind of catch people like this.
Jacobs, meanwhile, praised police on how they handled the situation.
I'm very satisfied with Brooklyn Park's response. It was very swift, very professional.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
In local business news, a mega deal. A Golden Valley-based restaurant chain known for wings, beer, and sports now has a new owner. Buffalo Wild Wings was sold today for $2.9 billion to the Atlanta investment firm Rourke Capital Group. The company also owns restaurant chains Arby's and Jimmy John's. Going forward, Arby's Restaurant Group will operate the approximately 1,200 Buffalo Wild Wings locations as an independent subsidiary. After tensions boiled over last summer between some Brooklyn Park Council members, the city is turning to the League of Minnesota Cities to help hit the diffuse button. A little acting helps set the stage.
I mean, anyone with half a brain, is going to agree with me.
Well, it's no brainer. That's probably pretty appropriate. Have you ever met something you wouldn't spend money on? Really? I mean, why don't you just go set it on fire? We don't have
The League of Minnesota Cities Attorneys led a discussion Monday among Brooklyn Park's 7 council members. The goal wasn't to make friends, but to improve the level of respect.
I don't know about a group hug, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for just a group agreement that here's what we want to do. We all may have different what we want to do, but how we do it and how we treat each other, I think, is of paramount importance right now.
The League will meet again with council members on the first week of January. A summertime tradition in Robbinsdale could see some changes. The volunteers behind Whiz Days met with Robbinsdale business leaders today. Festival leaders are looking for ways to make improvements, especially given the city's changing demographics. One idea is to focus more on activities for children.
Carnival's probably not going to happen, but maybe something like an inflatable park or a petting zoo, things that were integral before, changed for a variety of reasons, but maybe we can start bringing them back. But instead of us guessing, it would be nice to have the community and the businesses tell us what they would like.
Whiz-Bang leaders say Robbinsdale businesses have always been supportive of the festival, but the festival also wants to figure out how it can better support businesses in return. It won't be cheap to replace a New Hope playground intentionally set on fire, and that tops our look inside City Hall. The New Hope City Council approved spending more than $29,000 to replace playground equipment destroyed by an arsonist in early September. No one has been arrested, and a reward is being offered for information. About 2/3 of the cost of that is covered by insurance. The New Hope City Council also approved an indoor shooting range and firearms sales permit for a company called SafePoint, which is leasing a 48,000 square foot industrial building. It's away from homes, but right across the street from Can Do Canines, a nonprofit that trains assistance dogs. Officials say gunshot noise can upset the animals, but city officials say outdoor sound levels will be monitored. Still ahead, we visit Robbinsdale Middle School, where middle school is changing as we know it. That's in today's School Spotlight. Plus, the Wayzata girls basketball team is off to a promising start as they shoot for a strong season. We'll have a preview. But first, all is calm with the weather. Highs in the 40s on Wednesday. A middle school today isn't necessarily about educating students to be ready for high school. Today, it's preparing them to be lifelong learners. In today's School Spotlight, Shannon Slatton visits Robbinsdale.
All right, eh bien, class.
If these students had to navigate through a French town after today's lesson, they could do it.
Today's students are working on asking questions about where to go places around town and then either accepting the suggestion or learning how to refuse.
Every student at Robbinsdale Middle School takes a foreign language.
I get them speaking, listening, reading, writing, playing with the language, being creative with the language, having fun.
It's one of the many ways the International Baccalaureate World School connects students to their potential.
The way that you do that is through relationships, through making them feel that RMS is a safe place to be, making them feel that this is a place where they can be successful and that they have people here who care about them. And not only care about them, but are also going to engage them in rigorous instruction without any excuses.
You can often find Principal Cherie Jackson in the halls, working on those relationships, keeping students focused and accountable too.
All right, y'all, go to class. Okay. Go. And you always late to class, so I know you better go. I really like that we've built that relationship with our students to know that we're going to care about you, but we're also going to hold you to high, rigorous expectations.
If bacteria touches it.
Students are challenged at every level. AVID prepares future first-generation college students with study skills and the critical thinking they will need to get there.
I love this effort. Like, I've never seen so much written on one TRF, and it's beautiful.
Adrienne Anderson is a former RMS AVID student. On break from college, she came back to tutor.
Grades then and GPAs then are going to really matter when you go to college. Colleges will look at that, and AVID is so good to help you though. So, because they teach you everything you need to know about college.
Every student at RMS also takes a music class. Even here, focus is on the transition.
For an orchestra student to go from learning how to hold the instrument, learning how to read notes in a limited number of keys, to playing in more key signatures, expanding your range.
Learning music is delayed gratification. Students know practice here could propel them to something bigger.
It's very important that we are educating them to be their best selves and educating them to be just awesome members of society. And the only way that they can learn that is if we teach them and give them that voice.
RMS is a awesome school because they push you.
And speaking of student voice, RMS Robins know their time in middle school is a bridge.
I like the community and the environment that is around here.
A way of connecting childhood.
We're kind of like one big family.
To the path where they want to go.
Because the teachers are helpful.
They don't only help you in like school, but like if you got like a personal problem going on, something going on at home, yeah, they help you with that.
After school activities and like student council and AVID, like things that could get you to where you want to be in life.
In Robbinsdale, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
And still ahead, what it's like to walk in a Brooklyn Park teen's shoes. But first, plenty of new faces in the Maple Grove boys hockey lineup. John Jacobson gives us an introduction when we come back.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. As we reach the end of November, the boys hockey season is heating up. The Maple Grove Crimson are coming off a strong season that saw them reach the state tournament for the second time in program history. They did graduate a lot from that team. A good core group of returners include captains Ryan Brandt and Tyler Borsch on defense and Matthew Jaglow at forward. Sophomore goalie Ethan Hyder is a good one too. There's optimism in the Crimson camp.
We always play as a team. That's one of our biggest things this year, and we always work hard. We're young this year, so it may take a little bit into the season to start having the success that we want, but I'm confident we're going to be where we want to be at the end of the season.
Obviously, we have a lot of young talent. We have some seniors coming back that'll carry most of the load, but we have some good young talent that'll help us carry us into playoffs.
An opportunity here.
Maple Grove finished as runner-up at the CCX Turkey Trot Tournament hosted by Wayzata over the weekend. The Crimson tied Wayzata in the semifinals, advancing with a win and a shootout. They hung with top-ranked Edina for 2 periods before falling 6-2 in the title game. The trip to state last year was a good experience and one the players and coaches expect to see more of in the future.
Well, the incentive is certainly there, and the kids obviously that participated in it last year and got to see that or feel that you know, that excitement about being at the Xcel Energy Center. There's nothing like it, and you know, we've raised the bar high, and the expectations are that we're going to continue to go back every year, and that's the expectation we have to set.
Maple Grove's home opener is Thursday night against Totino Grace. The girls' basketball season is underway too. At least one local team has already won some hardware this season. Jay Wilcox has more on the Wayzata Trojans.
It's a team with plenty of promise. The Wayzata girls basketball team came very close to reaching the state tournament last season, losing a close one to a very good Hopkins team in the Section 6 4A final after leading much of the way. That drives them this season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we know how that felt, and we don't want to feel that way again. So we just want to work as hard as we can to, you know, have a different outcome next time. But we really just need to take it like game by game and just keep getting better.
The Trojans got off to a good start over the Thanksgiving weekend, winning the Elk River tournament by beating a good Moorhead squad in the championship game.
We played 2 really good teams, so it was a fun matchup. We played a lot of good players, and it was fun to just, you know, get our offense going, work out some kinks. Obviously, we have a lot to work on, but it was a good start to see where we were at.
You know, it's one thing to talk about it in practice, but then when you have it happen in a game and you can see it on game film and then you can address it, that's where the learning takes place and hopefully the growth.
Just 2 starters returned, but they are very good ones. Post player Callie Tyson is one of the state's top recruits in the junior class. And guard Mimi Schrader is in her 4th varsity season as a junior and is a great scorer and all-around player. The Trojans are ranked 7th to start this season. We think it should be a pretty good team when all is said and done.
I think they've done a really great job filling it in so far. We still have, you know, like a lot of practices to work on things, but I think that they've really stepped up, so I'm really proud of them, yeah.
I mean, I think it's going really well. We have a lot of really good players this year, so anyone will step up at any time and anyone can make a big play, which is really fun.
We have good length, good size. I think our versatility is going to be our greatest strength when we get to the point where we're using our versatility.
With some good young talent getting better, Wayzata is a team to watch this winter. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Trojans are at Maple Grove Thursday at 7 p.m. in a game you can see live here on CCX Sports. The high school football season wrapped up last weekend with the playing of the Prep Bowl. This week on our Sports Jam show, Jay Wilcox and I named the top players on the Sports Jam football offense and defense. Here's part of what you'll see.
Our wide receivers include number 21, Joe Raymond of Maple Grove, one of the heroes of the miracle comeback against St. Michael Albertville with catches like this one-hander. Raymond had 31 receptions for 576 yards and 5 TDs. He also rushed for 289 yards and 4 touchdowns while also excelling on defense.
Cooper's number 6, Nate Hill, was a key contributor to a Hawks team that allowed under 11 points per game. A 2-year starter, Hill finished with 89 tackles, 3 interceptions, 3 defensive touchdowns, and 7 touchdowns rushing on offense. He was the Suburban Gold District defensive MVP.
Left, ooh, and he takes a hard hit.
Stories and more this week on Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. here on CCX and online at ccxmedia.org. That's all for sports. Mike, back to you.
All right, look forward to that. Thanks, John. Up next, what's it like to walk in someone else's shoes? Brooklyn Park Project provides some answers when we come back. Now finally, what it's like to walk in a Brooklyn Park teen's shoes. And as Shannon Slatton found out, you can learn a lot.
You can learn a lot about a person by looking at their shoes. And perhaps you can learn even more about Brooklyn Park teens after looking at this collection of shoes.
We get to tell our story through our shoes and like who we actually are and like get to speak up for what we don't get to say out loud.
15-year-old Chantel Willis is one of several teens who painted shoes to reflect what it's like to be a teen in Brooklyn Park.
Just because I'm black doesn't mean, and then it says like stereotypes about black people, like I'll fight, I have bad grammar, I can't swim. And the other side of my shoe says, I am smart, I will be something, I will be a vet.
One shoe is a reflection of my past and the other shoe is where I'm at now. So one shoe, it shows that my past does not make my future, and the other shoes shows, well, where I'm at now and where I'm trying to go.
Tramel Drake says painting the shoes was more than just an art project.
We got a safe environment to talk about things that we can't really normally talk about to other adults and other people because we probably don't feel comfortable enough.
We are going to talk about our shoes and how it inspired our life, how it made us who we are right now.
Teens presented their artwork and their stories to the City Council Monday. This program, created by Recreation and Parks in partnership with YMCA Intervention Services, wanted to make teens feel like they have an opportunity to thrive and a voice.
And I was just so impressed with these amazing young people who talk about their stories and from their perspective of what it's like to be a youth here in Brooklyn Park.
In Brooklyn Park, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
Those shoes will be kept at Zanewood Recreation Center, but you can expect some to be displayed in city buildings in the near future as well. That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you back here again Wednesday, starting at 4.